dear viewers, and welcome to our show, Diet Myths. Today we're going to be talking to you about your post-workout fuel. Now, I know many of you are considering exercise or probably already exercise to help keep your body lean, strong, and healthy. But it's very important to consider what you'll be eating before and after exercise to make sure your body's recovering and healing and getting all the nutrients it needs. So today we're going to be focusing on the nutrients you need after you exercise. And the first thing I want to tap into is that you need to eat post-exercise. Now, a lot of people, think that to lose weight, that maybe they should skip a meal, maybe they should not have dinner if they're exercising in the evening, and it's completely the opposite. It's completely wrong. We want you to exercise, we want you to have meal, and preferably around 30 to 60 minutes after your gym. So once you've worked out, you get home, and within half an hour to 1 hour, you should be having a meal. It's really very important because if you have had a very strenuous workout and you've worked hard and you've been sweating and losing some water, you need to replenish your body, and your cells really need, these nutrients as this energy to repair itself and fix everything that was breaking down. And the same goes with your muscle. So if you are considering building muscle, then you definitely need to be eating and replenishing yourself with protein post-workout, or else your body will just be breaking down the muscle and everything that you've been working so hard to build because it does not have any nutrients. Which brings me to another important topic. Now, I know a lot of people associate going to the gym and working out with protein, but protein isn't the only nutrient you need. There's definitely much more. But I want you guys to stay tuned because we're going to talk about the other nutrients you need to keep your body healthy post-workout. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So let's take a look at the other nutrients you need besides protein. Yes, protein is always the nutrient that comes to mind, but you can't have a protein-rich meal on its own because your body needs more than that. You definitely need some healthy complex starches. So things like brown rice or quinoa with any protein source would definitely be great. Another thing you should consider adding is greens. So you need the vitamins, the minerals, as well as the water content that comes from vegetables. And these vegetables will help you stay full. Another thing you really need to keep in mind for your post-workout fuel is to make sure your portion size is correct. Now, a lot of people associate going to the gym or exercising with the ability to eat unlimited amounts of food, but that is not the case. You can easily overdo it with food, and then you just canceled out all the exercise you've been doing, and you won't be losing the weight. So for example, maybe spending an hour on the elliptical machine can help you burn anywhere between 400 to 500 calories. Now, if you indulge in a frozen yogurt that's been flavored, you've immediately consumed the 400 to 500 calories back, which is really pointless. So we want this calorie deficit for you to lose weight. Just because you've been exercising so hard doesn't mean you can go home and end up having whatever you want. And some people tend to overdo it with healthy food. So they'll think, because I exercised, I can have a bigger portion of a salad, or I can have, some more brown rice. And that's not really the case. You don't need to overdo it. Stick to your portion. My Plate is definitely a great guide to tell you how much you should be eating of each food group. Now, hydration is key. You cannot think of exercising without thinking of hydration. Stay tuned and we'll come back to talk about hydration and other things you should be focusing on. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So let's get the topic of hydration. If you are exercising and you do not hydrate properly, you'd be surprised at how much harm you could be causing to your body. Hydration is key. It helps flush out all the toxins. It helps relieve your muscles of cramping. So a lot of people, post-workout, wake up the next day and they feel like they have muscle cramps and they're tight and they really can't move. And that might hinder your performance the next time you decide to exercise. But if you are hydrated, then you can avoid these muscle cramps and your body can function normally and repair itself while you're sleeping that evening. And a great rule of thumb is to consider drinking 2 cups of water 2 hours before hitting the gym. And then have maybe another 2 cups around 15 minutes before hitting the gym. And then while you're at the gym, you can consider having half a cup every 15 minutes you're exercising. Now, if you are someone that's exercising in a very humid environment, so if you're considering exercising outdoors and it's a humid day, what the humidity does, it does not let your body, cool off properly. Therefore, you end up sweating and you release a lot of electrolytes that your body needs. At that point, I do recommend that you consider an electrolyte drink. So something like coconut water is a great electrolyte drink. It will give you the potassium that you need, it will give you the phosphorus that you need, and therefore you won't feel dehydrated.
Coconut water has been getting a lot of attention for its purported nutritional, hydrating, and age-reversing benefits. Everyone from sweaty neighborhood joggers to celebrity athletes love the stuff. So I'm here to help you decipher fact from nuttiness with 5 things you need to know before reaching for coconut water. Starting at number 5, a mineral jackpot. Not to be mistaken for coconut milk, coconut water refers to the clear liquid inside a young coconut, not the fatty meat or pulp of the fruit. Nutritionists agree that fresh coconut water is a virtual goldmine of minerals. Naturally sweet, yet 99% fat and carbohydrate free, fresh coconut water is biologically pure and filled with electrolytes. It provides a healthy alternative to sugar-packed soft drinks, sports drinks, and bottled juices. But buyer beware, bottled and fresh coconut water should not be considered as nutritional equals. Let's talk a little more about that. Number 4, fresh is always best. The longevity of the active ingredients inside bottled and shelved coconut water is largely disputed. Coconut water is always best consumed fresh in tropical coastal areas. Of course, not everyone can do that. Regardless, research from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations shows that once the clear liquid is exposed to air and warm temperatures, it rapidly ferments and loses the majority of its nutritional value. Let's move on to a historical case study of the medicinal benefits of coconut water. If coconut water's electrolyte prowess was ever in doubt, consider that its fresh water was once employed intravenously to save lives in war camps during the Pacific War. In the early 1940s, wounded soldiers were given coconut water transfusions to replace vital water and salt when medical saline wasn't readily available. According to the United Nations, many countries still use coconut water in hospitals because its chemical profile is so similar to blood plasma. The water of the fresh young coconut contains equal concentrations of salt and sugar akin to the human body. However, due to lacking levels of glucose, it's not always effective in severe cases. Moving on to number 2, digestive and urinary benefits. Coconut water has long been used as a cure-all for digestive and urinary ailments, such as indigestion, stomach flu, or urinary tract infections. But, in general though, keep in mind that high potassium within can cause issues for those with a history of heart and kidney disease. And ending off with number 1, heart health benefits. According to the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, Jamaicans have used coconut oil as a heart tonic for years due to its bevy of naturally occurring electrolytes. And despite the lack of scientific research, coconut water has been touted by advocates for its ability to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. It improves blood circulation, lowers elevated blood pressure, and increases HDL, good cholesterol, due to its naturally high potassium and low sodium levels.
If you are not, exercising heavily, or you're exercising in a gym where the temperature is controlled, you can just have plain water and that will be more than enough. But definitely consider hydration. And always keep in mind that you are what you eat. So if you are eating clean, good food, you will feel great, and so will the cells in your body. Think of your body as a machinery or an operation center that's working 24/7 to maintain everything and make sure everything's okay. So eat clean to feel clean and healthy. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you all next time.